gonna fall.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name's Ryan Frazier. Ryan! My name's Ryan Frazier. Been with the Oak Ridge Fire Department for coming up on 5 years now. Sure, you can cut it out, please. We're going to be talking about forcible entry. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to go through 2 little short PowerPoints. We're going to show a video, and then we're going to demonstrate it at the skills for practical portion at the forcible entry problem. So let's get started. Basically, like I said, forcible entry, our class objectives. We want to identify locking mechanisms, door construction, different ways to force the door, as well as identifying hazards. Okay. References are Jones and Bartlett. Aaron, can you name a couple different doors without looking on the board?
Inward swinging door, outward swinging door, like a wood frame door, sliding door.
Okay. Where would we typically see inward swinging doors? Commercial or residential?
Inward swinging, residential.
Mostly residential. That's what we're going to be looking for. Commercial doors are usually outward swinging doors, painted hardware, that sort of thing. The ones we're going to see on a regular basis, obviously, are the inward swinging doors. Let's talk about the. Let's go back here. Corey, if we see that on this door here, you don't see the hinges sticking out. What does that indicate?
It's an inward swinging door.
Inward swinging door. So if you see the hinges, what would that indicate? Outward swinging door. Very good. So let's talk about the types of doors that we see. Okay, you'll see solid doors made of metal, wood, steel, that sort of thing, glass. If it's a glass door, most likely it's going to be what type of glass, Aaron? It's probably going to be tempered, right? If it's a glass door, it's most likely going to be tempered. Up on the dry erase board here, I wanted to show you the difference between the stop door versus the rabbit door. Sometimes that's a miscommunication sort of thing. So, the rabbit doors is usually going to be like a solid piece, okay, that's built in. Okay, this would be your door stop. This is where your door stops from swinging all the way open, correct? So it's very simple. If you look on the door stop, you're probably going to have, if it's a stop frame, you're going to have a door stop here, or it's going to be like this. Can anyone see that? Where this is one solid piece with the door frame, with the door stop, it's going to be a separate piece that's attached. Okay, that can also be a purchase point. We can remove that if we need to gain entry to the door. Okay. Do we have any questions on that so far? Obviously, metal frame doors are more difficult to force than wood frame. Again, I mentioned the construction of the doors. A lot of your interior doors on residential are going to be hollow core. It's going to be like a solid wood frame structure with like a honeycomb inside. Sometimes they're solid. The solid core could be foam filled, as well as on the other side of the solid plank, it could be solid planks where you see like a, more common thing, the barn doors that are planks with a horizontal structure to the framing structure. Talk about the hinges. Let's talk about, before we get to the next slide, let's talk about locking mechanisms. When you go to force a door, Okay, you want to size up the door just like you do a 360 on a building. The locking mechanism is probably going to be what you're going to attack, right? So you're going to see different types of locking mechanisms. Aaron, can you name a few different locks that we might encounter on our job?
Padlock, standard bolt lock, and dead bolt.
Just to name a few, you have the locks inside the knob. You have your handle set where you put you push your thumb down to open the door. There's barrel bolts that you can slide across as a secondary locking devices. There's Mortise locks. More modern style doors, you're going to see the keyless entry with a key card that are going to be electronic, numerical keypad, that sort of thing. We got to be watching out for that. The Nest or the Ring are very popular options nowadays.
You'll have magnet door locks on commercial.
The magnet doors, yes, that's another one. So basically, how that works, the magnet, it sends an electrical current through the magnet to keep that door shut. If that electrical current is terminated or interrupted, it can cause allow the door to open.
Which is usually the way your commercial doors work in a fire alarm, because it demagnetizes.
Demagnetizes.
All the locks in the whole building, so nobody can get trapped.
Very good point, Matthew, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, go through this other one real quick. Oh no. What did I do here? Oh man. Let me pause this for a minute to make sure. Did it work? Yeah, I really don't have to do it again. Okay, so back to where we left off. This is the psychomotor portion of PowerPoint. So here this is simulating forcible entry on an inward swinging door that everyone's going to get a chance to work on the door prop after the lecture portion and after your written test. But just like the diagram says, you want to size up your door, extract the location for the locks and mechanism, as well as any other safety hazards. For this skill drill, it's having you put the forked end of the Halligan tool into the door frame, insert the tool near the lock. From there, this will be partner assisted. Have your partner drive the tool further into the gap. So most of our Halligan tools have that little notch past the forks that you can use as a stopping point to communicate with your partner to stop driving the tool in. You want to get the forks past between the door jamb and the door, and then force the door, controlling the door. If you need some extra some leverage, you can use your partner's tool, the flat end part of the axe, to create a little extra space there. So let's show this little video, and before I do that, I want to talk about tools real quick. What tools do we have on the truck that we can use to force a door?
Halligan bar.
Halligan bar. What goes with the Halligan bar? Let's break that down from a little bit into categories. So we have different categories. We have hand tools versus power tools, right? We have striking tools. So let's name some of our striking tools.
Sledgehammer, flathead axe.
Sledgehammer, flathead axe. We also carry the fire maul, the pig. What about prying or spreading?
We got hydraulic spreaders, we got pry bars, we got those New York hooks, have a pry bar on one end.
Sure, we can always use that to gain a little extra leverage on our Halligan, yeah. On Rescue 30, we also have that rabbit tool. cutter, if we need to cut, you said padlock earlier, if we need to cut a padlock or some sort of other mechanism, we can also use the axe, bolt cutters, as well as some of our battery powered hydraulic saws. Specialty tools, what about like lock tools, like our
Pick and lock, kick kit.
yes, we got the K tool, as well as just a simple shove knife. Okay, so let's watch this video. This is Mike Crone with out of New York. I'm sure you guys all see some of his videos. He's going to show us a quick demonstration that we're going to practice the skill after the class.
Makes it easy to slide the tool around. It's good for really tough balls. Or if you've already went in this way and dented the jam, you want to change your spot, and you don't want to dent it again, you don't want to drive into the jam. This is an easy way to get the tool set. Things will cut the door and have less spread. So let's just do it, David. I'm gap the door, get a nice sized gap, see where my locks are holding. Coming in, right in. And it's going to be less hits to get us in. It's going to be easy to do, but again, we're not going to have that great sprint.
So, real quick, we should practice these skills on a regular basis, not just, annually in class. The terminology you want to get right with your partner too. Your simple terms, strike versus drive and stop. 3 simple commands that you and your partner are on the same page, so you're protecting yourselves and no one's getting hurt, and you're creating, you're accomplishing the task at hand. So obviously, if we're forcing entry for emergency, if it's high risk or a true emergency, use your force. Max force is applied. If that's not the case, you have a little bit more time, you be a little bit more delicate. You can also, you want to keep the integrity of the door. You don't want to compromise that, because at the end of the day, we still need to be able to lock up that structure, whether it was a fire or EMS call or that sort of thing. presentation goes, everyone, I pass out this test. We're gonna take the test real quick, go over it, answer any questions, and then do a practical performance test on the Forcible Entry prop. All right, so we moved from the classroom portion outside to our simulated door Forcible Entry prop. Here we're going to simulate the skill of forcing a inward swinging, left-hand swinging door with a set of irons and a partner. So the first thing you want to do when you come to your door is obviously, proper PPE is in place, as discussed. We're going to look at the door, look for any hazards, locking mechanisms, the construction of the door, and ways how you can safely force this door for the situation at hand. So if we had a little bit more time, you want to be a little bit more careful not to destroy the integrity of the door. If it's a true emergency, max force is applied as is discussed in class. Here we're going to force the door with a set of irons. My partner here has the Flathead X. So we're going to simulate this is just a single locking mechanism door, exterior grade. It could be hollow core, solid core, metal or wood. But here we're going to take our Halligan bar as shown in the video in the class. We are going to take our bevel to the door. We want to gap first. We get a purchase point. Looks like we might be able to get a little bit of a start point simply by putting our foot against the door. We're going to insert our forks, and our bevel is going to be towards the door jamb. Okay. So from here, I'm going to get a little bit of a purchase point. I'm going to tell my partner, hit. Good. It's good that you have your partner. You guys are in unison, so you're not having unnecessary hits. So that was a good example there. That you and your partner want to practice this more than once, so you're all on the same page. Let's try again. Hit. Okay. Hit. Hit. Okay. Hit. 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 Okay. Drive. Okay, so for here, okay, we got our forks in between the door and the jamb. Luckily, our Halligan bar's got a little notch here. You're going to show that you're just past the door stop. Okay, from here, you want to try to force the door and create that space. Okay. For me, I'm gonna force this door toward the door. Okay, so I'm gonna get behind it, good leverage. So I force the door. 1, 2, 3. Stop. Okay. From here, we're going to capture the progress. Okay, I'm going to reset. From here, I'm going to, just like Mike showed in the video, I'm going to reset my bevel end. Okay. Create that space. Another good example is take your best advantage with the adds. Okay. For here, I'm going to shut down. Control your tool if you can. So you don't get grandma sitting by the door. From here, I'm going to have my partner create a little bit extra advantage by putting his tool against the door. Here, I'm going to put same spot. Hold it right there for me. Okay. Okay, and we'll force the door. And then you're going to control the door. And that's partner assisted forcible entry for a left-hand swing, inward swinging door. That's it. Okay, now I'm going to have one of my students demonstrate the skill. Hit. 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 Drive. Very good. If you need a little bit more leverage, capture the space. If you need a little bit more leverage, flip it around, watch your head. Go down. There you go. Good job.